Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. Now the first update we're gonna take a look at is one from Sam Sulek, and at this point I wouldn't have a problem if you guys started calling me Ivan Strength and Sam Sulek. That would be totally okay and acceptable, but I thought this one was gonna be interesting because I don't think I talked too much about Sam Sulek's weak point until now, and in my opinion that is his legs. So if you guys remember the first show Sam did, his legs were a lot softer than his upper body and they had no separation. Now in my opinion that was largely because he didn't know how to flex them while in poses. Then he fixed that quite a bit for the Arnold, but also his conditioning improved. Now at this time of the prep, it seems like his legs are freaking shredded. At 6 weeks out, his legs are absolutely peeled. They are dry, they're grainy, they're detailed, and in this video he says he has no pump. He didn't film this video after a leg training. This is him, I think, on the rest day, and he's just showing us his legs when they are without a pump and also flat. As he says, he's on a very low-carb diet right here. He didn't have a refeed for a while, so this is him without a pump, flat. His legs look like this. What do I think about this? Well, I think it's quite obvious that his legs are definitely his weakest point. They do not match his upper body. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you are a fan of Sam Sulek, you have to accept, you have to see this. His upper body is freaking massive. I'm going to show it to you in a moment, but the legs, they definitely look smaller. I would say smaller than last year maybe. And that could be because he seems to be in really good condition. It seems like he's ready early. I don't think he needs 6 more weeks to diet down. He's pretty much almost there conditioning-wise. You know, a good peak week from this point and he'll be ready. But for some reason, it seems like he's gonna push it to the next level this year. He probably wants to be super conditioned, and it's very possible that this year he's going to learn another lesson, and you're gonna see why it's a good idea actually to have a coach, because you would avoid these sort of mistakes. It seems like he's gonna push the conditioning too far. Last year, he was behind with conditioning. You maybe remember when Jay Cutler told him he needs to push things a little bit harder because he was behind. So now he probably was like, I'm going to start the prep early, I'll get conditioned early, and then I'm going to maintain my conditioning and just work on fullness and stuff like that. But it seems like he's pushing it too hard, and maybe for that reason he's losing the size of his legs. We see that very often, even at the highest level. Samson just made the same mistake last year because, again, he didn't have a coach. This is why you have a coach, because you're probably gonna either push too hard and lose a bunch of fullness and size, lose your legs by doing too much cardio, or you're gonna be too not conditioned enough, not realize that you're behind. You're gonna make these sort of mistakes because it's very difficult to be objective with your own body. And yeah, by the way, I am a coach myself. If you wanna hire me, you can DM me on Instagram. Just type even bodybuilding coaching on Instagram. You'll see my clients, what I do with them, and my approach. Basically, if you want more details, just DM me on Instagram. Anyways, Sam Sulek at this point, he seems shredded. He seems peeled. Check out his upper body right here. I mean, the size is definitely there, especially from behind. Just like I said, his legs are his weakest point. I also say that his back is his strongest point. It's very rare in the low-level pro league, right? Most new pros have weak backs. And they develop them as the years go by. Some do, some don't, some figure it out. Sam Sulek figured this one out early, and I would say he also has great back genetics. His lats are inserted very low, and just the shape of the back is phenomenal. A lot of size in that area as well. The traps, the lats, everything, really. The whole back is insane. The rear delts, his delts in general are also massive. His arms are good as well. Chest was kind of weaker, but it's good now. It's definitely good. But everybody has a weak point, and in Sam's case, that's legs. Now, I think legs are probably the best weak point to have. What do I mean by that? Well, realistically, on that stage, the best weak point to have really is arms. You know, it's a small body part, even though everybody wants to have massive arms. On stage, arms are not that important. Like Chris Bumstead is the best of all time in classic physique with having small arms, really. So on stage, arms are not that important, legs are far more important, but why do I say it's the best to have weak legs? Because in my opinion, pretty much everybody can build up great legs if they're willing to truly suffer. And it's not just going heavy, doing deep, crazy, heavy squats. If your legs are not growing, try some crazy giant sets, man. I'm telling you. Crazy giant sets with some insulin, with some intra-workout carbs, and if you're willing to endure that pain, to also go heavy sometimes as well, but to do a lot of volume for the legs, that's my opinion, usually the trick that does it. So if Sam trained his legs harder, what is Sam doing when he's training his legs? I mean, every time I checked it was just, some leg extensions, maybe some squats, narrow stance, pumping it up, nothing special really. So if his legs are a weak point, and they obviously are, what he can do is really punish them, really go super hard, and he's gonna develop them. Maybe not this year, it seems like they're gonna be a weak point at the Arnold Classic, especially compared to the top guys like Mike Sommerfeld. I mean, take a look at Mike's legs, they're absolutely crazy massive. So yeah, Sam is gonna be weaker in that area, but everybody has flaws. Not the best flaw to have on stage, but something you can work with, something you can improve. I know he can actually get better legs, but at this point, maybe they're also smaller because he's flat, because he's dieting a little bit too hard maybe. We'll see what the end result will be. You guys tell me down below whatever you think. All right, the next thing we got is something absolutely crazy from Sergey Danilo. So apparently what this guy is doing now is he's training with an oxygen tank in the gym. He's using literally oxygen to train, to do a workout. Now, I don't know if he explained what is the science behind this, if he's actually trying to do something, if this is actually, I don't know, beneficial for his muscle growth, but I think this is just sensationalism because this guy is that guy. He's the new freak bodybuilder, the new monster, the new freaking Rich Piana, or I don't know, Golem, or I don't know how many of these crazy guys were there. And he's filming these videos, crazy videos. For example, this one with a bear, and people are like, this is so Russian, this guy is crazy for doing this. Really, just a pet bear. There is a whole bunch of people who have pet bears in Russia. I used to have a pet bear when I was a kid. Just joking, that never happened. But really, you can go over there if you're brave enough and film a video with a bear. And this guy is absolutely brave. And I don't know if brave is the right term, because from what I heard, he actually had a heart attack when he was 18. And what was his decision? What did he do after that? He started using 120 IUs of GH a day. So yeah, that kind of tells you a little bit about Sergey Danilo and what this guy is actually like. So yeah, not exactly the smartest decisions he's making, but it is what it is. If he wasn't crazy as he is, we wouldn't be witnessing this freak of nature right here and all these crazy videos and photos that he's making. So yeah, right now he's 340 pounds. His goal is to get to 350. Maybe using oxygen while training is going to help him, but we'll see. I mean, this guy is a pro and he's going to actually compete in a Mr. Olympia. He's qualified. We'll see how well can he actually do. I do think he actually has some solid potential to potentially even crack that top 10. You know, what I saw at the France Pro wasn't cutting it. It wasn't a top 10 Mr. Olympia physique, but give him a year, man. Give him a year with his crazy approach. If he survives, he's going to be really good. He's going to be, I think he can be a top 10 guy. You know, it's possible because he's so freaky. If he improves the legs a little bit, adds a little bit more sweep to them, maybe improves his shape and quality overall, and I think he's probably going to gain another 50 pounds of muscle or something like that in that 1 year with his insane approach. You know, it's definitely possible that we'll see him in that top 10 of the Mr. Olympia again, if he makes it. If he makes it. And that's a big if, I gotta say, because this guy is very brave. Very brave. Let's put it that way. Whatever you guys think about Sergey Danilo, tell me down below. All right, and finally, we got something very interesting, and this was basically started by Sean Ray. Now, I've talked about this before as well, and I'm sure everybody's thinking it as well, whether Samson Dauda is risking too much and doing something that's completely unnecessary by pushing his weight to these crazy numbers, 160 kilos, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's insane. And now what Sean Ray said was, I would say, interesting, but it's something everybody else thinks probably. But we can definitely discuss this. Let me play first what Sean Ray had to say.
Is that the right direction, or is that going to make it harder for Samson to get in shape come Olympia time?
Wrong direction, bad strategy. He didn't ask me for consultation, but my optics tell me that's not healthy and it's not a wise decision. He was not knocked for losing for being too small. You know, he did too much and his body showed it. He was tired, he weathered, and he left the door open. And when you leave the door open, anybody's beatable. And no one said he was too small.
All right. First of all, I would just say, good point. Before I expand on this, let me show you what Fuad Abiad had to say in reply to Sean Ray.
There's a guy coming along that is getting bigger and better, and that's Andrew. I don't think 24 Samson will be enough to beat 26 Andrew. And so for that reason, Sean Ray's wrong. Samson is doing the right thing. And what Samson is doing is saying, look, I'm going to go back and I'm going to be bigger than I was in 24 and better. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is bodybuilding. This is the whole point of the fucking sport. If you have a guy that has the genetics to keep getting bigger, isn't that what we want? Isn't that why we put Ronnie Coleman on a fucking pedestal? And you got Sean Ray out here saying, no, you should just stay small.
Okay, now this is an interesting point. What Fuad says is that Andrew Jacked is coming up, that he is growing, and that Samson Dauda should actually keep growing as well, so Andrew doesn't surpass him. Do I agree with this? I definitely do see the logic, but do I agree with it? I wouldn't say so. I don't think Andrew Jacked is ever going to be as big as Samson Dauda was back in 2024, really, because Andrew is actually 2 years older than Samson, and Samson is no spring chicken, right? Samson is 38, Andrew is 41, and I don't think Andrew is going to put on a whole bunch of size in the next year or two. Andrew did improve his conditioning and his posing, and he might improve some of his details, yeah, but to put on a whole bunch of size at this point in his career, I don't see that happening. And Samson, with his 2024 size, I think that's as big as Samson ever needs to get. I definitely do believe that. Now, yes, Samson did lose a lot of size last year, but he would have brought it back even if he stayed at like 330. So I do not think it's necessary for Samson to push these crazy numbers to get to, 400 pounds. No, I don't think that's needed. But I am all for it, to be honest, because yes, I love a good freak show. As long as these guys can actually stay safe, which I don't know if they can, but if they can, I'm definitely all for seeing their absolute most massive versions, right? I mean, I want to see these guys at their freakiest. And if Samson can get even bigger, then, hell yeah, it's awesome. Now, is it the best decision for him, for his longevity, for his health, for his career? I would have to side with Sean Ray on this one and not with Fuad, which is definitely rare. I usually do see eye to eye with Fuad very often. Like, I think Fuad is a very logical man, and I agree with him very frequently. Sean Ray, not so much, but in this one, I have to agree with Sean Ray. I think this is absolutely unnecessary, but maybe I should just shut up and let Samson do his thing, because I want to see him as big as possible. And I think no matter what I say, what Sean Ray says, what Fuad says, we're going to see an absolutely insane version of Samson Dauda next time he steps on the stage. I think it's going to be absolutely freaky, and I think it's most likely going to be a Mr. Olympia winning Samson Dauda once again, unless he messes it up in the prep. Hopefully this year he'll hire a top-level coach who's going to guide him and help him peak well for the Mr. Olympia. You guys know that I would do a hell of a job with that, but I don't think Samson's gonna hire me. If he wants to, he first needs to unblock me and then DM me about it, but I don't see that happening. Anyways, guys, whatever you think, tell me down below in the comment section. If you want my coaching services, DM me at Even Bodybuilding Coaching on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye-bye.